Hey guys, Stock Saturday, and it's another down week. Down about 6,000 this week, or 3%. Part of this has come in the blockchain, Argo and Hive blockchain side. Bitcoin sort of having a bit of a rough week again, with some more sort of deleveraging of lenders and that sort of thing. So nothing really affecting Bitcoin itself, but yeah, they've dropped. Silver having a bit of a rough week as well. Dropped sort of nearly $1 at one point yesterday. So yeah, Pan American not doing too well. Even copper getting hit sort of fairly hard. Atalaya mining sort of knocked down. So yeah, everything in here is sort of pretty much down. On the Trading212 side, not really quite as much happened. Not made any trades in the whole portfolio this week. Still sort of thinking of doing it, but not quite yet. So the ISA dropped £600. A lot of the sort of stocks down overall. The ARC genomic tracker down a couple of percent. So a little bit easier just to track that as one holding now. Digital Realty got dividend from them, so that was quite nice, but they're down 5% on the week. Not something I'm looking to buy just yet. First Majestic, as I say, silver taking a bit of a knock this week. The REITs, yeah, most of the REITs are down. Sylvania flat, which is quite nice. Tritax taken a fair bit of a hit. Eurobox as well. Vici actually gained on the week. Interesting, they're sort of saying they're looking to get into football stadiums and sort of training facilities and that sort of thing. Not the NFL, sort of soccer, as the Americans would call it. So, yeah, interesting. So they're up on the week. And yes, the 3x NASDAQ short sort of doing its job this week. So that's, I think, pretty much break even. Obviously, I could have maybe took profit on that. It was only a small amount of profit when it was up and sort of bought again. But I decided to hold on to that. So it's break even. But yeah, that's the ISA. Not a huge amount going on there. The invest account has taken a little bit of a hit, not too bad. 112 down to, so about 2,500 down. There is a new there's a new pie in the ISA side. If you're wondering, my pie sort of that I make public expired because I don't invest in that in particular. It's just easier to make one pie for all of my holdings if anybody wants to see that. So I made a new one. But yeah, so a lot of stocks down this week. This has sort of contributed a fair bit. So things like Alphabet, the tech stocks and stuff are down a bit. Apple not so much. Again, still thinking of selling Apple. Not too happy with them. Sort of at the valuation they're at that moment. House builders having a little bit of a rough week, but not too bad. Semiconductors more so. So Broadcom down a fair bit. Fairly happy with them though. It's not something I would be looking to sell off. I think they had a dividend as well. Yeah, £35 from them, and £75 from Nintendo, which is quite nice. What else we got? eBay down quite a bit. Still was hoping for a bit more of a bump from them before I sell that off. Still doing buybacks, so I thought they might have had a nice bump, but nothing at the moment. As I say, copper price getting hit really hard. So Glencore not doing too well. Looks like I was early on the copper call, so that's not been doing all that well. I was up sort of 70% on this at one point, and they sort of averaged up, thinking that we were still going to do well, and it's come back to bite me. Hymax have had their dividend, so it's not quite as bad as it looks. be getting a rather large dividend from this, which I don't really want because I'll get taxed on it. But yeah, it's now dropped down to the $7 so range. So possibly looking to put some of the cash into this now that the dividend's gone. Still looking bullish. Intel, yeah, down with the rest of the semiconductors. Japan ETF, sort of flat for the week. So I expect the possibly Monday trading. I've got the day off on Monday, so I may consider sort of making a lot of these trades on Monday. Probably not into Lennar though. Sort of bounced back. They've dropped next year's forecasts a little, but they've sort of increased this year's slightly with the positive quarter that they had. Maybe thinking the sort of effect of the recession on the housing market will be a little bit later. So yeah, they're up on the week and sort of doesn't seem quite as good a buy as the semiconductors or the UK house builders maybe. Could consider Meta Platforms as well, 6% down on the week. Still look okay, although sort of obviously earnings estimates are coming down with people expecting less advertising spend. So Micron took a real hit, 8% down. Earnings sort of the earnings was better than expected, but the guidance was sort of pretty horrendous. I think they dropped their estimated EPS down sort of 40% or something. I can't remember what the number was now, but not too good. But obviously huge amount of capital investment going in, so bullish for the future, even if the price of sort of DRAM and that sort of thing is very volatile. But we're going to need more in the future, so I think just bear through the pain. Nintendo, flat for the week, unsurprisingly. Porsche, down a little, but Volkswagen is down a bit more, so I did put some in them sort of the previous week, so that maybe wasn't, maybe I should have waited, but it just seemed low. But yeah, thinking of averaging down a little bit. Well, I'm in profit on this, but down on Volkswagen, so yeah, I may just put a little bit more into Porsche. Process, interesting one, 10 cents down, but they have announced that they're interested in selling sort of, not a load of it. I think some websites being a little misleading. They're selling some of their 10-cent stock to do buybacks, basically, trying to close the valuation gap. So they're going to be less 10-cent heavy and more of a weighting on their sort of emerging market newer companies and startups. So interesting. I'm not sure. I kind of invest in them largely for 10 cent, just to have it in the ISA. So not sure how I'll play this one. Up sort of 22% now on the last week. May sort of consider selling them off at some point and maybe buying 10 cent if they are going to sort of sell off a great deal of it. Not sure I believe in their sort of emerging market startups quite as much as I do 10 cent, of course. Rio, a little bit of a knock, but not too much. It's copper that's seen the greater fall. Samsung, 4% down, so under $1,000 now. I think I'll probably be putting a little into them, although they have had their sort of earnings estimates dropping a fair bit. Obviously, they're only partly into semiconductors, so they're seeing a bit of a hit on the sort of phone and consumer electronics side. Earnings estimates been dropping quite a bit. Shell, 1% down, yeah, not a huge move from Shell. Sony, 5% down, not something I'm looking to buy just at the moment. Stellantis though, 6.3% down. Again, the Q1, they announced their Q1 deliveries and revenue a little while ago, which were good. Whether Q2 has been sort of worse, obviously Q1 was sort of not a great deal of the wartime was included in that, but they don't have a huge exposure to sort of that region. But yeah, we're sort of waiting for first half results. They do half yearly results, but seem like they're going to be good, so I may have to be buying more of them this coming week. Similarly with TSMC, 10% down on the over 10% down on the week. They announce that they do quarterly earnings, but they actually announce monthly revenue, which is quite nice. And even the May revenue is sort of quite a bit up. I think it's 65% up on May last year, and sort of it was the highest revenue month, I believe, of this year. So unless the June sort of revenue was terrible, then seems like a reasonable buy. I might maybe just wait off and see what the June revenue is like, and yeah, could be putting a fair amount into TSMC. Bit of a shame that I'm never going to be able to put it in the ISA though, by the looks of it, unless something changes. Taylor Wimpey, yeah, not a huge move, 1% down, but looks pretty good. Tesla, yeah, 7.5% down, pretty much. So with a lot of the rest of the tech stuff, not too bad. Tyson, pretty flat. So yeah, this unless there's any drastic moves, this may be getting sold on Monday. I know I keep saying it every week, but it's going to happen at some point. Vale, yeah, pretty flat for the week. And yeah, Volkswagen sort of down a fair bit, but expansion seems to be going well. Sort of EV delivery numbers seem to be going reasonably well. So I'm still fairly happy on Volkswagen, and we'll probably be, as I say, putting into Porsche rather than Volkswagen itself, but all basically the same thing. So yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and like and subscribe. Let us know how you're doing as well. See you soon.